Konnichiwa.
Konbanwa. It's
Oh, it
almost
is evening. It is.
evening.
Sorry.
Yes, it is.
Ohio gozaimasu might be. Does that work all day?
I'm
I
not
thought
quite
you
sure.
said gozaimasu was just for morning.
That's what I thought. So I think it's
Okay.
Konbanwa right
Okay.
now.
Well, boom.
Kaboom!
With that, we throw things up a little bit and change out of my orange T-shirt that I seem to favor on filming days. I went back and looked, and yeah.
We've had cold, blustery
Yes.
weather that's made it difficult to be outside.
Yeah.
Windy and everything. But
Spring. It's springtime.
it is spring.
Yeah.
And today is just absolutely gorgeous.
It is. It is.
I will give you a quick preview around the harbor here. It's nice and calm and quiet.
This is the harbor in Jeju Island, Korea, which we'll talk about in a few days. But
Yes.
that's where we are filming today.
Okay.
Today, we're going to talk about the 3 Ks.
Yes, indeed.
They're all special.
Yes. So, go ahead.
The first one is we're going to talk about
Kochi
Kyoto, Kochi, Kyoto, and Kobe.
and Kobe.
3
Yes.
great Japanese cities.
Oh boy, they were
that
wonderful.
Are absolutely. One was more lovely than the next. Wish we could have spent more time in Kyoto, but next time we'll have to come back.
Right. There's a lot to see and do there, and it can be crowded with tourists in Kyoto. And of course, the big draw we'll talk about, is it Gengaku, the Golden Pavilion. So
I didn't catch the name.
that's all right. Let's go back to Kochi.
Kochi, yes. So we had signed up for an excursion to go to a shrine and then go to a samurai district. My interpretation of going to a samurai district is that there's going to be cool samurai stuff everywhere. And there'll be little shops where you can buy samurai memorabilia.
Swords to cut your head off with.
and cute little stuffed animals and magnets and no.
So what we did visit though was a middle class neighborhood for the middle class samurais that lived there, and as well as the feudal lord of that area.
Yes.
He had a very nice house here, 22 rooms.
Right.
It was really nice.
That the emperor had actually stayed in. That's what the little paper they gave us said. The emperor at that time.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But first we started in a Shinto shrine. And when you go through a Shinto shrine, it gives you good luck.
Right.
And you're supposed to bow.
When you go through the Torii Gate, you've seen Torii Gates, you just do a little bow. And then as you approach the shrine, the main thing to do is to get rid of evil spirits.
Right.
So you go up and rattle the bell twice. You bow twice and clap twice, and then you can get
They're
on
scared
with
away.
Get on with your prayers, and, offerings, and all that.
Now, it was still Golden Week when we were there, and it was Children's Day.
Yes.
So they were they had the carp fish flags flying.
everywhere.
And we did see some children while we were there. In fact, inside the shrine itself, they were doing some kind of ceremony. Got a little bit of a video, though I thought maybe that would be inappropriate. But they had a baby, and the priest was doing a thing.
But I don't remember school children there. But
Well, no, there weren't school children there. It was just little kids.
It was a baby.
Yeah. So the samurai district really was looking at the architecture that was there, and the roads and how they had preserved it. It wasn't medieval by any means. I mean, these houses were probably a couple hundred years old, maybe.
No, some were older. Some had been rebuilt.
Okay.
Certainly some of the walls had been repaired.
Sure.
I got to tell you what, some of the homes in there were very nice for middle class. I would like them.
Yeah, if I had to live on the Samurai Street, I know just the one to live on. So it was beautiful.
But we'll reserve that because I think the next samurai village we visit may be higher.
That's true. We have another one
higher
coming up.
ranked.
Hopefully there's shops there with little samurais and whatever. Right. But so the rock wall formations, you were telling me how they're kind of different than when you see piled rocks together forming a wall in Europe.
Yes.
Right?
So instead of straight courses, banded courses of rock that are staggered, the Japanese walls are put at angles, so there's no single line of stress or fault built into the wall. And so it just kind of helps them chink into place. For the most part, they didn't use a lot of mortar on some of the walls. It's just large stones.
They were large, too. You wonder how they got them in place.
Oh, yeah. A lot of little folks.
And they've been there like a couple hundred years.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the homes we saw have been passed down for generations,
right.
Family member to
yes,
family
they were
member.
Still, very proud of their samurai heritage.
And they were all still livable.
Too.
They were all still livable. Beautiful gardens and gates, and you could kind of peek through and see what was going on.
I'm sure it's quite a piece of honor to have that in your
I think it is.
In your past.
Yeah. Particularly if they still have the family sword or something.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay. It was kind of neat. It was a living medieval village from 15th, 16th century. So, okay.
The second day in Kochi, we
were on our own.
We were on our own, which we're coming to embrace. that can be a really good thing. We hopped on the shuttle bus, and we walked into town. And in Japan, they have lots of these streets that are covered
shopping areas,
and they go on for blocks and blocks. And they had some of them in Kochi, and I've seen them in a couple other towns now too. But
so we did the right thing. Kochi was very walkable, and we had read the tour, and a lot of the tours were going to do very similar things that we did. It was easy enough to, once you got the shuttle bus into town, to go on the map, and you weren't dealing with hordes of people.
On and off the bus.
On and off the bus. And you had time to do what you wanted to do.
Yes. So we did the shopping for me, and then Jeff said, I'd really like to go to the castle. So, very few castles are on flat ground. Right. It seems they put them on the top of hills. I don't know why.
Defensive. It's defense.
It's true.
You got to make all the attackers walk up toward you.
It's a bit of work to get up there. So first we had to climb up to the defensive walls, and then we got inside the defensive walls, and then we found the castle itself, and we went all the way to the tippy top, and we could see the vantage point of all of Kochi around us, which was nice. I was glad we did that.
Well, there are only 12 feudal castles remaining in Japan as part of the Meiji restoration, when they eliminated the feudal governmental system
after World War II.
Yeah, they started dismantling probably some of the lesser castles, and the 12 that remain are pretty remarkable. So we're going to get to see 3 or 4 of them on this trip. Well, we've already seen 2.
Well, yeah, exactly.
2. And we go to a really nice one in a few days.
Once we were inside the castle itself, of course, no shoes. I mean, all of these places, you got to kick off your shoes at the door. They're very particular about it, too. There's usually like a platform that leads you to the place where you put your shoes. Do not step on that.
Nope.
You take your shoes off before that. Step on the platform, put your shoes away. Little lesson for you.
Some of the places have little flip-flop sandals if you want to wear them. I had my socks on.
Yeah, so I'm fine.
Little grippies on the bottom.
The steps going up inside the castle all the way up to the top of the tower, there was no way you could walk them.
They were like old ship ladders, very steep.
They had to be this tall.
Yeah. And
you kind of go up sideways, and I came down backwards. But every time I think, well, this must be the last one. Nope.
One more ladder to get to the very top.
Yep. But the view was worth it. It was beautiful.
The woodwork, the joinery,
Oh, yeah.
You know, all the carpentry was done without nails. It's all nice joints that lock into place once all the pieces are in. Pretty remarkable.
And then when we came down, there was this nice man standing at the bottom. He said, "Let me take your picture."
Yeah. He said, "Welcome to Kochi," and he says, "Here, stand
It's
over
like
here."
he was a volunteer just to stand there and take pictures.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't associated. He was just hanging out.
He's being a nice man. He was very kind.
That was.
So when we went to Kyoto, the first thing we did was go to the Emperor's Palace. Guess what? Flat ground.
Well, it's a palace. It's not a castle.
I see. All right. And the woman said no one would dare to threaten the emperor. That's what she said.
No. So
there's a moat.
It did have a wall. The Imperial Palace had maybe a little moat. But to be clear, we did not go to the Imperial Palace.
Oh.
We drove around it.
Oh, that part
on the
was
way
the palace. Yes.
To the Shogun's castle.
Shogun's castle.
And
he's
house.
got plenty of guards. So
this is the if you've watched the remake of Shogun, Ieyasu Tokugawa. I'm saying it wrong.
I never caught their names. I was just like, this guy that looks like that. Who is that? Yeah.
Right. Well, he was responsible for pulling the remaining maybe 40 or so feudal lords together under a coherent.
And they were doing collaboration for a while. And they tried to get rid of it.
Well, that was his escape from the palace.
Right.
Because he built his place, remember, in Kyoto.
That's right.
Oh, no, let me take that
I thought it was Edo.
Edo. He built his place in Tokyo.
And took the geishas with him.
Yes.
And they got their own places, yes.
So he took
Enough
over.
about Shogun.
Well, no, but he, as the Shogun, he took over all aspects of the government and relegated the emperor in Kyoto, in the imperial palace, to just ministering over the spiritual well-being of Japan.
Right.
And then I'll finish that story when we get to the postcard.
So the first place we went into was another Buddhist temple that held the 1,000 Buddhas, and there were 1,000 in there.
1,001.
Is that
1,000 little ones and the one big one.
No, remember the ones with the 20 hands?
Okay.
No, that's right.
You're right, dear. Just go on. There was 1,000 Buddhas.
And
the big Buddha in the middle, and 28 guardians.
I guess you're right. You're right.
On one end, the bookcase was the wind god. The other end was the god of thunder.
Thunder, yes.
Not to be confused with Thor.
No.
No, different god of thunder.
They don't look alike. But, but absolutely no photography allowed in there.
No.
And but pretty impressive sight to see all of these golden tarnished Buddhas. They all had
burnished, yes.
40 hands, 20 hands.
They kind of varied.
But it was symbolic.
Yes, it
Everything
was.
in there. And this building was very old.
Oh, yeah. I think it was first built in the 5th or 6th century, 400, 500 AD. It had been rebuilt due to fire and stuff, but they managed to save a lot of the Buddhas. I read somewhere it took them 2 years to complete making all the Buddhas.
I would imagine. I mean, 1,000 of anything takes a long time.
Yeah, and they're about human size.
They are, yeah.
But the big Buddha in the middle was pretty tall.
Then we got to have lunch. Had to take our shoes off again.
Yes.
And we had a nice little bento box meal, and we even had a little bowl that had a little sterno underneath it, and it was cooking something inside.
Some sort of soup with tofu.
Tofu, yeah. The meal was real good.
Oh, it was wonderful.
You just try. You just try. You don't like it? Throw something else in your mouth. The flavor will go away.
Yeah, there were 4 or 5 things. So this was a multi-level bento box.
Yes. too.
And so you had one that you sat aside first. That was the desserts. The one underneath it was kind of your main course. And they supplemented that with soup and rice and whatever was stewing in that little pot. Yeah, it was interesting. It was very good.
Yeah. Yes, I liked it. Guy across from us didn't eat anything.
Oh, no, well, he ate the beef. He looked at everything else, poked it around.
I don't know what that is. I'm not eating that. So.
And then his wife was a little more adventurous. She'd try something. Oh, well, if you're not going to eat it, send it my way.
She ate most of his dinner.
And then we saw people obviously hadn't used chopsticks a lot.
Right.
They were holding them backwards and
forks.
eating with the big end of the chopsticks and holding them by the little end.
Oh, no.
They were suffering a little bit.
You get good at it by practice.
Yep.
And I'm probably subpar, but I'm like a C-, I think. I'm getting there.
Yes.
After lunch, we went and saw the Golden Shrine, which is a big attraction in
huge,
Kyoto.
Huge.
And it is absolutely beautiful.
Very, very much so.
Don't get to go inside because it's on a little island. So
in the middle of a lake. But you get to walk around it.
Yes. And I will say, I had said earlier that day, this kind of feels like being in Sintra. Have you ever been to Portugal and that,
oh God, yeah,
and that castle where you got to walk through like this? I've done it 3 times, I think, and it's always like this. Next time, I'm just sending people in on their lifts.
I mean, you stop and push. You look at one exhibit, and you're getting jostled by all the people. I don't even know what they're stopping to look at. They're just like herding through.
So I said that, and then, sure enough, then it started to feel like it more. I mean, then there were even more people around us. But it was outside, so that was good. It was a pretty day.
So that, just to be clear, we're back at Niho.
At the
castle.
Yeah. Yes. Then we also did the castle.
Yeah. That was where it felt like Sintra, going through the building.
We actually got separated.
Yes. I stopped to read and look at something. Next thing I know, Amy's 20 feet ahead, and there's like 100 people.
I had no idea where you were. I didn't know if you were in front of me because I had stopped to read something too. I didn't know if you went past me or if you were behind me. So I tried to walk fast, then I tried to wait, and then I just said, "Screw it, we'll find each other at our shoes," which worked fine. Now the interesting thing about a lot of these old castles is the flooring. I thought that was really cool. I think they called it a meadowlark floor.
No, Nightingale.
Nightingale floor.
And they used little metal wedges underneath the floorboards. So even ninjas would have problems.
That was their protection.
Sneaking up on you because the things would make these little chirp. It wasn't a squeak.
Yeah.
It was a chirping. I mean, it sounded more like grasshoppers or something chirping. But every now and then, if the people were walking right, it was just... It was melodic.
So when we were in a building by myself, by just the two of us walking for a little bit, we could practice, and I'd say, I'm a better ninja than you.
And then all of a sudden, you'd squeak.
But when you're in the one with all the people like we're in Sintra, oh my gosh, the sound, it was like, enough with the sound. Because everybody was setting them off.
So the one thing, just to talk a little bit more about Kyoto, the Golden Pavilion is beautiful, and it is a big tourist site. Less people go to the Silver Pavilion,
which we didn't get to go to.
So the Golden Pavilion had wet gardens.
Yes.
Watered flowers and plants and trees. Silver Pavilion specialized in dry gardens. Very much more Zen gardens, the large rocks, all the raked gravel. We're going to have to save that for another trip because I really enjoy that one.
Yeah.
And
So that was our time in Kyoto.
Kyoto.
We were on an excursion. We didn't get a chance to do anything by ourselves. We didn't have a chance to go down to the geisha district, which I really wanted to do, but it just didn't work out. So.
Kyoto's just too much to do.
It is. And
in one day.
Yeah. And where we had where the boat was, the ship, was an hour and a half away from Kyoto.
Yeah.
So you had to take the train or, figure it out, and it was a lot. So
that reminds me, I need to send an email. I want to hear about the World Exposition in Osaka.
Yes.
From our friends we met on the last leg.
Illinois Tom and Illinois Jay.
He was Michigan Jay.
Well, yes.
Yes, or something like that.
So then, now our last city to talk about is Kobe. That's where they keep all the cows.
Well, they're well known for Kobe beef.
Never saw a cow. Gotta say, never saw a cow.
I disagree. You saw a bit of a cow.
I did see a bit of. I didn't see a whole cow. Now, Kobe is a big city.
It is a very. It's probably
it's not 20 million people, but
no, but it's the number 2, number 3 city.
Oh, and lovely. I mean, very walkable.
Not
very
quite
vibrant.
As congested as Tokyo, as you will see.
It had a really cute Chinatown that we just happened to really walk into a couple times.
Well, we used it as an aiming point.
Yeah. A couple more of the covered streets, which are nice when it's raining. But what they also have is a lot of exotic cars. Car dealerships. Yes.
Yeah, we were kind of in the low rent area.
You remember the other day when we talked to you and the Ferrari was behind us? That was Kobe.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, on one side of the street we had a Bentley dealership. Right across the street was Aston Martin. Mm-hmm. And we snagged some good stuff for somebody we know who hopefully has his Aston Martin by now and is enjoying it.
Yes.
We did go by a lowly little Porsche dealership. It was sad. It had 2 cars in it. And then we ended up at the Ferrari. And you talk about something fancy. So the young woman working the desk kind of wondered, we looked around, and then I showed her the address. There was supposed to be a Lotus dealership there, and apparently had moved to another location far enough away that we couldn't walk to it.
No.
So we spent some time in the Ferrari, and it had a beautiful reception area with an F1 car, a convertible Spider on the other side, and then they had a waiting room, because I'm sure it gets crowded, before you got taken back to the build your car room. And when you walked into that room, there had to be 40 different spools of thread, samples of 40 different colors and textures of leather,
and
a wall of 12 different steering wheels,
seats.
A wall of wheels, 10 or 12 seats you could sit in. And
so, I mean, this is really bespoke. When you buy a Ferrari, it is yours.
It is yours.
Yeah.
And so I got to sit in the seats. And, that's not us. No. We don't leave for a bit. It was beautiful.
It was fine. Nobody else walked in the whole time we were there. So
they were dedicated to us.
Yes.
So I did show her a picture of my car, which she got very friendly because she probably didn't know her car, just figured it was a Ferrari or something. And she let me come back in and out and do some photos.
Yeah.
And then
and she was bored. Come on.
And then I showed her the address for the Lotus, and she walked us all the way. She
left the store.
She left the store.
It was
walked us around the corner to the 3rd floor of this building where the place was supposed to be. It was now a Mini and BMW showroom. So we heard the Lotus had moved up the street somewhere, and we just couldn't get there. So another day.
But what we also did when we were in Kobe is, I'm in Kobe. I might not ever get back here again. Damn it, I'm going to have some steak.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So
now, there were plenty of Kobe beef places on the street. You could get a cheap meal.
You could.
But we were supposed to do a fine lunch experience, and we had to cancel it.
Yeah.
And so we came
Kyoto,
up with a replacement. Yeah. Amy landed a 5-star hotel with its own
I wanted to do it
teppanyaki
right.
restaurant. Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So we had our own chef right in front of us. What's that cooktop called? Is there a name for it?
The style is teppanyaki, but
Okay.
it's what are those Benny
things
called?
like Benny.
But they
Benny
don't pound around and flip shrimp and stuff at you. This is very
no onion volcano. There was an onion. I kept waiting for him to make a volcano. Didn't happen.
No.
Yeah. So first of all, we go up in this hotel and we're on the 33rd floor.
Yeah.
So we're up really high.
San.
Oh, very good. And then it overlooked the harbor. We could actually see our ship from up there. So that was very cool. There were only 2 other couples. Well, no, there was a whole table to the one side and another couple to the side. So there might have been.
They came in after us. Yeah.
There might have been 10 people in the whole restaurant.
There was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of us. Remember, there was one.
Not 10.
They had the mother. Yeah. No, there was a couple with the mother. So there was 9.
So we started out. We meet our guy, and we had to pick out what we want. And Kobe beef does not come cheap.
No. Neither does a nice bottle of Bordeaux, but when
if you're gonna have Kobe beef,
if we're spending that much on Kobe beef, we're getting a great bottle of wine.
Heck yeah! So, so our meal came with a little appetizer, a little salad, had some veggies, abalone.
Yes. So they sat down.
I've never really had abalone before.
They set our beef in front of us.
Yes,
they
which was beautiful.
The abalone, and these guys were still crawling around on their shell.
You know what?
They're big.
I didn't get a video of them.
Oh no! Oh.
I thought I did, but you know how I have trouble with knowing whether the video's going or not going. So it's probably not a bad thing. You don't get to see them moving around like big snails coming up out of their shells.
And you could see their little antennas.
Oh, God.
And
I'm like, oh, God, am I going to be able to do this? So, but, all right. So we had abalone and of course, the beef. And I went for the garlic rice after. So,
yes.
But every course was better than the next.
Oh.
The beef, he just cut it with this knife it was a stick. Okay, start at the beginning.
Abalone.
The abalone.
So they, to quiet them down a little bit, he sprinkled some salt on them. They calmed down, scraped them out of the shell, and put them on the grill.
Mm-hmm. And then put the thing on top of them.
Put a little cover over it. Mm-hmm. Now the hot plate on this thing, I don't know how they did it, but the vegetables he was cooking were on the grill until we got served our beef. Literally
so maybe
30, 35 minutes.
Hotter spots.
And so we had one big slice of onion, about that big, that was on the grill for 35, 40 minutes.
The whole time.
Yeah. And
caramelized.
Slowly.
Yeah.
And it was translucent and very wonderful. But the best part of the abalone was the liver.
The liver, who knew?
So he separated the liver from the rest of it.
And he put some really rich buttery sauce over it. I will tell you, it tasted a lot like frog rock.
Yes,
to me.
It did.
Yeah. Now,
okay.
So
now on to the beef.
I did eat a little bit of the abalone. I was
you did.
horrified.
You ate the liver.
I ate all the liver. Well, my half of it. All of it.
You got one and I got one. We each had a whole one.
Oh, you're right. One whole liver for one abalone.
Yes.
It,
about the size of a rabbit kidney.
Yeah. So, yes, I'm horrified with myself that I watched something slither to its death and then ate a part of it. So,
but it was fresh.
It was delicious, I will say. And then we got the steak. And that steak, I could never eat steak again because I think we're done. You're never going to have a steak that's good again.
This was beautifully marbled, and we got the explanation. There are 12 grades of Kobe beef, 12 being the highest. Probably what we had got on the street was a 5 or a 6, at probably a quarter of the price.
Right.
And of course, the guy explaining to us proudly pointed out that USDA Prime falls in around to number 6. Just making sure he knew we were getting something.
And when
good.
do you get Prime at home? I mean, I don't even know where to buy Prime.
Weggies.
Yeah. Under behind the counter.
Behind the counter.
Yeah.
So Wagyu is just a generic term in Japan, meaning local Japanese beef, Wagyu. And so how they're treated and grazed and finished is all a little different based upon the area. And of course, Kobe is probably well renowned. But we also had nice Wagyu when we were in Ishikaga.
Yes.
In Okinawa.
That's the place where it was sliced real thin, and we got to
cook it
ourselves. But this was an experience. So this was one of the 10 best meals of my entire life. I don't know what's dropping off the list because of it. It's something.
I don't know. Presentation, the skill.
It was fantastic. It was an experience. It was like a dinner and a show.
I mean, it was.
And it was lunch, so it wasn't quite as. So that's a pro tip. If we're going out for a special experience, I try and book lunch because then it's usually at least 25, if not 30 or 40% cheaper.
I put it up real close to the 3-star Michelin we did in Paris.
Close. Well,
I don't know.
That's number one. I'm not messing with that one.
All right. Okay. I'd move this one up the scale some, and.
But that was our beautiful, beautiful meal in Kobe. So I was so glad we did that, even though it cost a bundle.
We got to give some more detail here.
Okay.
So we had 2 pieces of beef.
Yes.
One he cooked first.
Or turned down.
And sliced it, and it was cooked perfectly medium rare.
He asked how we wanted it, obviously. Yes.
And I said, rare, medium rare. He says, okay, close to medium rare.
Perfect. And it was like butter in your mouth. It just,
savory. Then we finished that with our veggies. Then he took the second piece and did the big flambéed it, which made
you were supposed to, and we didn't get it.
I didn't get my video working. I was all ready, and
we're really bad at this.
Yes. You'll just have to go to Kobe and do it yourself.
Well,
it's worth it.
I'll come with you if you want. If you need somebody, come.
We'll show you.
I'll come.
We can show you around.
You got to pay for my meal though.
I don't think so when they know the price, but we won't go into that.
Anything else you want to talk about in Kobe?
No, just that the meal was
gushed on it anymore. Yeah.
And then once we were done with dinner, we were seated in another area for our dessert because they were cleaning up, and you don't want to be around the fuss and muss, so we're directed to another area of the restaurant and served our dessert, and that wrapped it up.
Yes, it was delightful.
It was.
Yes. So, I guess with that being said, we are running a little long.
Okay.
So, our postcard today is from the Nijo Castle in Kyoto. This is the one with the nightingale floors, and these are the samurai sculptures that are inside. So, who should we send that to, Jeff?
Boy. Who likes martial arts? Oh, boy. I don't know.
We haven't sent one to Jack in North Carolina.
I could
and
do
he
that.
likes Japan, so that could be good.
Okay, maybe that's what we'll do.
Has he been there, you think?
I'm
sure of it. He wouldn't.
That was so long ago. I don't even know if you remember.
Even so, I think he has been there.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Jack. This one's for you. Hope you enjoy it. Let us know when you get it. If you'd like a postcard, blah, 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 blah.
Email to
blah,
postcardtoday@gmail.com.
That's the one.
All right, folks, we are off for dinner.
Yes.
Kabumwa again. Sayonara.
Sayonara. Yes. All right. Adios.